Dr. Thomas, poor blood flow in the legs is not simply an inconvenience. It is one of the most underestimated threats to senior health, quietly taking away strength, independence, and even years of life. But there is good news. In this episode, you will learn about a simple daily habit that improves circulation in the legs and feet, helping you recover warmth, balance, and energy without needing medication or a gym membership. Welcome back to the Senior Wellness Podcast, where proven wisdom meets modern research for stronger, longer living. Today we are looking at calf and toe pumping, a remarkably effective practice for circulation, heart health, and mobility after the age of 60. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows that nearly 40% of adults over 65 live with chronic venous insufficiency, which is poor leg blood flow that leads to swelling, pain, and wounds that do not heal. When left unaddressed, this condition often results in misdiagnosis, unnecessary prescriptions, and the false belief that weak legs are simply part of growing older. Joining me today is someone who has witnessed both the science and the human stories behind this condition. Over 100 years old, still practicing medicine, still lecturing, and still seeing patients, he is here in the studio today to demonstrate these exercises live. Welcome back, Dr. Thomas. Thank you, Dr. Thomas. It is always meaningful to be here with you. But let me begin with a question. If circulation is life itself, why do we wait until it slows before we start paying attention to it? That question is a powerful one. And I believe many people listening right now have experienced exactly what you are describing. The heavy legs, the restless feet at night, the swelling that nobody ever explained. Indeed. And this is the hidden danger. Poor circulation is not rare, and it is not simply a consequence of old age. It is often the result of neglect, of sitting too long, of standing too rigidly, of forgetting that the calves serve as the body's secondary heart. When we ignore these early signals, the body begins to suffer in silence. Today, we bring that silence into the open. I will explain exactly why poor circulation develops, the risks it creates, and how a straightforward practice, calf and toe pumping, can protect both your legs and your heart. We will cover not only how to perform it, but when to do it, how frequently, and for whom it is most important. And if you stay until the end, you can request an exercise sheet, which we will send to you at no charge if you let us know in the comments. Dr. Thomas. What I am hearing is this. The problem is not just the discomfort in the legs. It is that when we misidentify the cause, we miss the real solution. Precisely. And that is why this episode matters. We will move step by step through the science, the method, and the results. By the end, you will understand that poor circulation is not an unavoidable mystery of aging. It is a condition you can begin to address starting today. My father used to rub his calves every evening, calling it just old age. But later, I encountered patients with the same ache whose wounds simply would not close. It struck me how frequently we mistake poor circulation for normal aging. Yes, and by the time we see it clearly, much has already been lost. So why is circulation in the legs and feet so essential after the age of 60? Circulation in the legs after 60 is not only about physical comfort, it is about survival. The calves are often referred to as the secondary heart because every contraction pushes blood upward against gravity. When this pumping action weakens, blood begins to pool and the veins struggle to return it toward the heart. That is when we begin to see swelling, varicose veins, and slow-healing wounds that place a person's independence at real risk. Dr. Thomas. That is significant, Dr. Thomas, because most people associate circulation primarily with heart health. They do not realize how much of the work the legs are actually doing. And when circulation slows in the lower body, the effects do not stay there. The whole system begins to feel the impact. Exactly. Reduced circulation can limit oxygen delivery to the brain, producing fatigue and mental fog. It can also place strain on the kidneys, which depend on consistent blood flow to filter waste effectively. A study published in the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology in Japan found that seniors with weakened calf function were twice as likely to experience cognitive decline within 5 years. And this is also why patient compliance tends to be higher with this practice. People who dislike gyms or outdoor walking often find satisfaction in this approach. It gives them independence because no special equipment or environment is required. So the practice itself becomes a reminder that the body still wants to move, even when life has slowed us down. Precisely. The body is never working against us. It simply waits for the right signals. This gentle pumping motion is a way of saying, I am listening, and I care. That is a meaningful way to frame it, Dr. Thomas, and I believe it resonates on a deeper level. It is not only science, it is about dignity. Seniors want to know that their efforts matter, even the small ones. Yes. And when this is practiced daily, dignity grows alongside strength. Dr. Thomas, in one Japanese study, seniors who practiced calf pumping twice daily reported 30% less evening swelling after only 3 weeks. In American clinics, we observe reduced reports of restless legs and improved sleep quality. The reason is straightforward. Better circulation means calmer nerves and more stable blood flow throughout the night. These changes do not take months to appear. They arrive within days. And once patients begin to feel them, they rarely stop. So this becomes not just a routine, but a habit that gives structure to the day, Dr. Thomas. Yes. Morning pumps provide energy. Evening pumps encourage rest. Patients often describe them as bookends for the day, a way to signal both action and recovery. And the more consistent the practice, the more lasting the results. Reduced swelling, sharper memory, and lighter steps. That is remarkable, Dr. Thomas, because it shows how something so modest can ripple outward into larger areas of health, including sleep, memory, and confidence while walking. And I think this is what people frequently overlook. Circulation does not operate in isolation. It influences everything from mood to digestion, from mental clarity to heart stability. So when we commit to this practice, we are not only supporting our legs, we are supporting the entire system. Dr. Thomas. And now, Dr. Thomas, I think we should address a broader question. Who should use this practice every day, and are there individuals who should approach it with caution? This practice is safe for the vast majority of seniors, particularly those who spend extended periods sitting or standing. It is especially beneficial for people experiencing ankle swelling, spider veins, or a persistent feeling of heaviness in the legs. It also supports individuals with diabetes or mild circulation concerns, since it promotes both blood flow and more effective glucose regulation. However, there are situations where care is needed, so there are cases where it may not be the right choice. Yes. For instance, if blood pressure is dangerously elevated, it is advisable to wait until it stabilizes before beginning the practice. And anyone who has recently undergone leg surgery should always consult their physician first. That is an important distinction, Dr. Thomas, because it is easy to assume that a natural practice carries no risk. In reality, timing and individual circumstances always matter. Exactly. We must always respect the current state of the body. Another key consideration involves clotting. If a patient has a known history of deep vein thrombosis, calf pumping should only be performed with a doctor's approval. For most people, however, the motion is protective rather than risky. It helps prevent clot formation by keeping blood in motion. Think of it as a supportive friend to your veins, not a threat. One more nuance concerns intensity. Some people feel they must complete hundreds of repetitions, but that is not necessary. Even 20 to 30 gentle pumps performed consistently deliver meaningful benefits. When combined with adequate hydration and light walking, the effect is further amplified. So it really comes down to balance and consistency rather than force, Dr. Thomas. Yes, precisely. A gentle rhythm, practiced daily. That is the formula, and it is far more powerful than most people expect. Dr. Thomas, I have seen the same truth with my own patients, Dr. Thomas. Some who felt too weakened to walk found new confidence after just 1 week of calf pumping. Others noticed their evening swelling ease enough that their shoes fit comfortably again. Before we close, could you share one simple thought for everyone listening today? Yes, and I will keep it brief. Even the smallest daily act of self-care can keep the body youthful far longer than the most powerful medication. That is a fitting note to end on. Everyone, thank you for watching. Please let us know in the comments if you would like to receive the exercise sheet. When we protect circulation in the legs, we are also protecting the mind. So it is not simply about tired feet at the end of the day, Dr. Thomas. It is about the entire system being placed under quiet, ongoing stress. Yes, and the danger lies in how gradually the symptoms appear. People dismiss cold toes or tingling ankles as harmless, but these are signals that the pumping mechanism is beginning to fail. Dr. Thomas, I think about how often seniors tell me their legs feel heavy or that they are simply slowing down, when in fact the real issue may be blood that is not circulating as it should. That realization changes everything, Dr. Thomas, because it means the body is asking for support, not surrendering to age. And that is where I would like to go next. How does this straightforward practice, calf and toe pumping, actually restore healthy flow? The practice is simple, but the science behind it is significant. When you lift your heels and then your toes in a steady rhythm, the calf muscles contract and release, squeezing the veins like a natural pump. Each squeeze pushes blood upward past one-way valves and back toward the heart. This is why we call the calves the secondary heart. When combined with slow, steady breathing, the effect becomes even more pronounced, functioning almost like a natural engine restoring life throughout the body. That is compelling, Dr. Thomas, because it means something this accessible, something a person could do while watching television, has the ability to influence the entire cardiovascular system. I have had patients who were advised to walk after meals to stabilize blood sugar, but found it too exhausting. What you are describing sounds like a bridge, a practical tool that meets people where they are, particularly when conventional exercise feels out of reach. Yes, and research supports this. Findings from the Cleveland Clinic confirmed that calf muscle pumping is directly linked to preventing venous pooling in older adults. In Japan, this is observed in practice daily. Seniors who perform small rhythmic movements after meals report fewer dizzy spells, warmer feet, and less swelling by evening. There is also an immediate effect on glucose regulation, since improved circulation allows nutrients and insulin to be delivered more efficiently. I recall one patient, 76 years old, who could not tolerate walks after dinner. We introduced 3 minutes of calf and toe pumping as a replacement, and within 1 month his post-meal blood sugar spikes had dropped significantly. This is why I say it is not exercise in the traditional sense, it is circulation care. So in essence, Dr. Thomas, this practice is not merely movement, it is medicine in motion. That is exactly right. And unlike pharmaceutical options, it carries no side effects, only benefits. That truly resonates, Dr. Thomas, because seniors so often feel their only options are medication or demanding physical activity. What you are offering is a third path, one that restores confidence without introducing fear. You begin by sitting comfortably with both feet flat on the floor. Slowly raise your heels so that only the balls of your feet remain in contact with the ground. Then lower them back down. Next, lift your toes so that only the heels are touching, then return to a resting position. This gentle rocking motion, heel up, then toe up, repeated at a steady pace, activates both the calf and shin muscles together. Even 2 to 3 minutes of this sends a surge of fresh blood through the legs. The simplicity itself is part of its strength, because it removes the barrier of not having enough time or feeling unable to exercise. It is accessible anywhere, at a desk, on a couch, even in bed before sleep. The key is rhythm, not intensity. Once you notice a gentle warmth in the calves, that is the body signaling that circulation has been reawakened. And unlike strenuous workouts, that sensation is one of relief, not strain.